Hey guys. Let me know if everything is looking okay, sounding okay. I always have like a last minute um, audio, video problem. So today we have the screen set on my Cintiq, so Wacom Cintiq tablet. This is I think it's I don't even know what size it is. I think this is the 15-inch Wacom Cintiq that you guys see here. So we're gonna be doing it on the computer today, which is pretty awesome. So let's go. Plot twist: Pocky's fur is bright green. Well, there is a character in the comic book. You guys probably could see it right here. It's the teddy bear character in the back. His name is Scrappy. He's making a cameo, and he does have bright green skin. So Auto Cafe, yes, you're not late today. You're perfect timing. I think I did everything at the nick of time. So hello from Portugal. What's up, Marv and Alpha and Cleaver and Richard and Fabio? Awesome. Hey, you guys. And Gala, hey, what's up? Oh, Michael, that's awesome. Thank you. Hey, what's up, Arthur? So, just a quick thing before I forget, because this is like so confusing to me. It's like, so everybody who signed up for the Neo Wonderland newsletter, once you click put your email and your name down, it says, oh, thanks for signing up. You have to go check your email. Sometimes it ends up in the spam folder. Please check it to see if there's something from Neo Wonderland where you have to confirm your subscription. And I do it that way just so that, I don't get a bunch of spam bots and all sorts of weird stuff and, security problems and stuff like that. So if you could please make sure you're subscribed. I think there's like 10 people that they didn't see the email. So please check to make sure that you're subscribed pretty soon here, because we're going to be launching pretty quickly. It seems like, it took me 25 years to do this book, and then all of a sudden I go from 0 to 1,000 in a month and a half. So we're ideally going to launch October 28th. So I've been working hard to get these pages ready to go so you guys can see the colored versions on the pre-launch page and stuff, and all over. So all right, you guys, are we ready to dive into to coloring this thing in Clip Studio Paint? And in full transparency, so Clip Studio did not sponsor this video this time, but they did previously. So I try to be more familiar with this software compared to Photoshop, but it is still a learning curve for me. So I'm gonna do it as easy as possible, and I'm gonna treat it like you guys have never used a software before, and you're maybe transitioning from Photoshop and what's the other one? Procreate on your iPad. And let's just say you want a more robust program to do this in. This is really awesome because I know a lot of people in Japan and maybe Korea and probably China use this software a lot for animation and making mangas and stuff. And it has a built-in word balloon aspect to it, which is very awesome. Let me see, this light is super reflective. Give me a second. Cannot see my screen. Much better. Okay, so yeah, there's a lot of built-in stuff here just to make the manga, and I know it's it is a little bit more expensive. I think it was $300 when I bought this. But here's the awesome thing: you don't have to pay for a monthly subscription like you do with Photoshop and stuff like that. And it's a lot like Procreate in that way. It's just a robust program. So like I said, I'm not being sponsored by them, but that's kind of why I was excited when they sponsored me the last time. So this is going to be pretty fun. So let me know when you guys are ready to start, and we could go ahead and start. I'll try to slow down and explain everything, because I know that this is, because it's a program, it's a lot different than what I have on paper. What's up, Dave? And then we got Michael. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Richard. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, Smoke. Awesome. You could totally check this out later. It's going to be here. Even the chats are going to be up here in case somebody asks a question and stuff like that. So yeah, I finally finished a piece. It's so fun because, okay, so this page is going to take place at night, So it's gonna be all like, you're gonna see the city in the background, right here, you know, and you're gonna see me coloring like really cool neon signs, floating signs, flying cars, no hoverboards because they're tiny, and you got like Pocky. So I think I've decided that these chicken nuggets that he likes, I think we're gonna make it hot, like not hot blue, like neon green or something, just because it's the future. And I think it'd be kind of funny if it was like a green nuggets, or maybe neon, some weird food dye or something like that. And it's not actually cat food. He likes to go to this fast food joint. It's like a classic, you know, kind of like what you would call one of those old school diners that has like smash burgers and stuff. And he likes to eat human food, so they would stand in line, wait for the food, and he would get these chicken nuggets, and that's his favorite food in the whole world. So he eats these nuggets, or he's hoping to eat these nuggets. But in this scene, he never actually gets to eat the nuggets. And we have like this funny inside joke where Pocky never gets to eat the nuggets, and it's just like this, he's in purgatory basically. So so Richard, this is actually Garrus. So this is actually a AI cat that's a virtual cat, and it's Pocky's best friend. So there's pictures I have of him where he's like flying right next to him, so you'll see more of that later. So okay. Hi from Brazil. What's up, Macon? I like your drawing style. I'm inspired by your style. Are you wearing it? Oh, this right here? No, I'm not. I mean, I should. I'm thinking about doing that though, for sure. I have like, for the Kickstarter, I have like a Pocky t-shirt planned, and I'm so excited to show you guys what it looks like. And we just got the Pocky keychains designed last week, and I'm getting comps and proofs of them to see how it turns out. So as soon as I can, I will definitely show it to you guys. Hey, what's up, Thomas? Oh my gosh, Thomas, there is just a ton of people reading manga. It's to the point where it's exciting now, like, because there's a variation of everybody's style and story, and there's so much story to go around. And I think what's awesome about manga is the different type of genres and stories that people create. It could be anything you want it to be. It could be a slice of life, it could be superhero, it could be supernatural, it could be crime, and just all sorts of stuff. And I kind of that's why I'm excited for this book, because I feel like I could make the story the way I want to, and not kind of feel like I'm shoehorning myself into a specific genre and stuff. So Affinity Photo Macon? No, I haven't. I've seen artists mentioning that it's like Photoshop, but without subscribing to. Oh no, I haven't used that yet. And I've been using Photoshop since college, so we're talking like, a long time. I used it before they had any of these crazy tools right now. So, okay. So the first step always is to clean up your. 1 second. I lost my password. Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm doing a bunch of stuff. So I just mailed out all the commissions I did last week to my art rep, and she just received it. So that makes me feel a lot better. I could breathe. So the first thing I do is you clean up the lines. And what's awesome about Clip Studio is they actually have a feature here in the layers tab that allows you to do that. So like right here, this is the scanned version of this piece. So right now it's still, you could kind of see like the gray areas, and you know, we want it to be as close to black and white as possible. So let me see if I can remember how I did that. I think it was, let me add a layer right there, bring that down. So the layer below is going to be transparent, and then you go to this tab right here, and where it says expression color, it's actually going to be gray, and then you go from that to I think it's right here, and you click on the black square, and that, see how that just gets rid of anything that's white. And then did I do something crazy? And then you go to the bottom layer and paint that, or so the shortcut for the what is it, paint can is G. 1 second, what did I do? Okay. Oh, there we go. A little laggy. So that is now a transparent layer. So that's how you do it. It's pretty simple. So right here, so the right hand side, go to the extra layer tab. You see it's right next to the layer and it shows you the expressions. Press. So now it's back to RGB and I can start coloring. So I add a new layer and this is going to be where I basically start coloring. So here's a quick example. So see how it's transparent now. I already did this step and I cleaned up a little bit in a different file. So I'm just going to go ahead and color with this file and just close this one out. So here's the awesome thing is, so right now I have like my keyboard to the right hand side, or if you're right-handed, you're gonna have it on the left side, and all my shortcuts, I kind of memorize them quite a bit, or the main ones at least. And it's a little different from Photoshop, and you could match it, you could customize the keys so that they're exactly like Photoshop or whatever program you're used to, and it still works. So let me see here. So right now I have it as base character, so this is where the color flats are going to go for the base color layers. And then for the background base layer, it's going to be, I label it background so I could just separate everything. And above the base character layer, what would be kind of fun would actually be the screen tone layer. So, oh, 1 second. So screen. Okay. So now I'm set. Let's see if I missed anything. So while I'm coloring, I'm gonna go ahead and read what you guys are, I'm gonna clean up my lines actually, sorry. So I just go back to the line layer, and since this isn't like perfect, because I had to fix some of my lines like right here. You know what, that's kind of, I don't know if I like that. Or maybe I, What's nice is once I color this, if I feel like I have to go in and fix the lines a little bit, I would go ahead and redo that process again. So let's see. So I hate the curtain. I don't want to. Yeah, let's see. Where am I at here? Oh yeah, no problem, Tomaz. Yeah, here. So starting a manga, yeah, it's like, you know what's awesome about YouTube is there's a lot of people who are making content for how you would start making a manga. So it's actually a lot more streamlined than it used to be, and there's a lot of people giving out really good feedback. So I'm just one of many channels, and I wouldn't consider my channel a tutorial channel, but definitely like, oh geez. So eraser. E and then so when I'm coloring or doing anything, my right hand or left hand would be on the H key, because that's the hand tool, and it moves the screen around, and it's so much easier to do things. Oops. And then that happens too. But, okay, so let's clean up some of this stuff right now. I might, go back later and fix everything, and so basically this is all I do. I just go in there and just make sure everything is clean. I might keep some of the sketch lines in if it's not too distracting, and you could always go back since it's on separate layers and clean it up some more, as long as it's not flattened. I usually always have an alternate file. I have two separate files of the same thing, and one would be all the layers still intact, and the other ones would be condensed or something, just to make sure that if I needed to go back to fix anything, especially if I'm working on like a comic book for another company or whatever, that I always have it on file in case they need to change anything. So Black Tigress, yes, I do. So this is basically the actual page itself that I'm working on right now. So I scanned this in with my Epson Workforce 7710. So I scanned it in full size, I think it was 400 DPIs at least, or 450, and then this is the process of cleaning up the line art right now. So yes, TSA art, it does. I actually did do the monochrome. So with this page right here, or this method, in fact, you know what? Let me do it really quick again. Oh, there's no way to do it. Sorry guys, actually, maybe I could open it. Okay, one second. There we go. No, that's not it. Oh, sorry. I screwed that one up. One second. I accidentally moved the wrong screen. Amateur. Here it is. Okay, let's try that again. It's so confusing. Both of the screens are like mirrored, so okay. So this is what it looks like when I scanned it in, and let me show you what it looks like when you're going into monochrome mode. You see how it's too like the threshold is too contrasty. I don't like how that looked, because my lines aren't always like perfectly black and white. I like the gradients, some of the gray areas, because I'm using a brush, so I like to maintain the integrity of the brushwork. So that's why what I did with this one is actually I did an in-between where I had two separate layers. One was the monochrome version and one was the grayscale, and then I changed the how much I was able to see of the line art, just to get like the darkest darks, and then like some of the gradient for the brush stroke, so that it maintains the brush stroke. So yeah, a Mighty R. I've never used the HP, or maybe I have one. I just use whatever is gonna let me scan the page one time, and then you know, at 300 DPIs and above, and then it's good to go. So I think it all works pretty well. And I don't know if you guys seen my older videos. I do have a mobile scanner. When I say mobile, I mean it fits in a backpack. It's a Canon Li lid or something like that, and it's small enough to fit in your backpack. And I have taken that thing to Europe, to conventions and stuff when I travel, and when I'm even camping, because it's a USB scanner, so I could scan when I'm at the campground with my laptop. So it's pretty nifty. In fact, I might have to bring that with me next week if I go camping. So okay, sure, BT, awesome. Matt LaRock asked if I have a preference between digital and traditional. I love traditional, but the reality is if you're going to do a comic book this way or that way, I did that for a few years, and that was time consuming. I like to do both, where I'm doing the line art on paper and inking, and then coloring on the computer, so that you know, you get a little bit of both, and then you get your book out and it doesn't take forever. So if you watched any of my really old YouTube episodes from a few years ago, you'll see like I think I did 1 or 2 videos of me doing interior art with markers, and you know, kind of want to do that again, but we'll see. And I think with this book I might do a couple of covers, maybe traditionally with inks, colored ink, and then, you know, in Clip Studio Paint. So oh, thanks so much, BT. So I'm gonna pick one panel to at least start coloring, so you guys see how I process the background and the foreground and the gradients, and hopefully we get to all the really cool, fun stuff. Truth be told, everybody in comic books, after we've been doing it for a while, like a colorist, whatever, they will get someone to flat and just do all the flat colors for them. And they don't like color match, but what they do is they make sure they lasso out like the main parts of the page, so that it saves them time, because it's just part of the process. It's a lot like, you know, in manga, they have assistant background artist and, you know, artists that help them out. So, all right. Let's save this. Awesome, Richard. Yeah, I love color ink. I just finished my last cover for the season. Is it yesterday or the day before? And I used a lot of the what is it? India ink, the color India ink. Yeah, saw art. It's there's nothing like it. That's why I refuse to. I'm old school. I refuse to do as much of my I refuse to do all digital if I could help it, even though there's times I've had to do that. Okay, so let's pick a panel to try to show you how this works. Okay, I'm gonna go to see if I want to do screen tones right now. Okay, let's just try to do this all screen tones. See if I could show you how this works. And okay. What was it? G. Okay. What happened there? Is it the color? Okay, there it is. That's what happened. Interesting. What's going on here? I have no idea. I'm so glad they're not sponsoring this video right now because I have no idea what I'm doing. But okay, let's go with his pause really quick. So if I don't want it to look too digital, like which I'm not a huge fan of, I just do screen tones. So let me know if you need me to show you how the screen tones works on this. Pretty epic. I think some of you've already used this software, so I don't need to show you that. But if you need me to, let me know. So CF, this is actually a part of the software, but I do have screen tone brushes that I bought for Photoshop and I imported into here, but it looks kind of funky actually. It doesn't do what I want it to do. But with the screen tone, you actually go into the layer options right here, layer property, and then you can actually, if you click on this right here, it's right next to the effects. It actually has a screen tone thing. There's other ways of doing it, but that's the easiest way. If you know for sure you're going to do screen tones, you just make sure that the whole layer is just screen tone. Okay, awesome. Screen tone tutorial. Yeah. So this is, I mean, and that's what makes it look cool, right? It's like it's like adding glitter every time you do screen tones. You could do the whole thing in screen tones, right? So the black and white edition is going to have the screen tone layers since we're taking out the color for the Kickstarter. So that will have like an actual reading from left to right manga, if that makes any sense. Yeah, I know. So there is definitely an option to do that with the turn it to color. And I did it with one of my earlier pieces and it was a lot of fun. But I'm going to see if I need to do that this time around, but that'd be really cool. I just think I'll experiment a little bit. So I'm going to speed through this because I don't think I need to be perfect. But you guys get the idea with the screen tones for now, I think. See if there's something I could show you really quick. So let's do that, and then what was it? So let's just say I do that, and then I go into the layer options, and then I could turn that to screen tone as well. So awesome. Okay, is this black and white? Where is it? No, it should be color. Okay, so what's nice about this is I don't have like a set way of doing things, except for maybe doing the base tones first, but I could do background base tones first or character base tones first. So since this is such a moody scene, I think I'm gonna fill in the background so that I know what kind of colors the base tone for the characters. So the background, I'm just gonna use rectangle. And I'm thinking maybe towards the purple. But maybe more muted, and then a little bit more on the blue end. Because the bounce light that we're gonna have is probably like a neon pink or light blue or something. I know, this software is so amazing, right? Can I just call you T Art just for short? Yeah, if you want to tell everybody like strategies and techniques that you have that maybe everybody could like shortcuts and stuff that people might really find helpful, that'd be awesome. Thank you, because I don't know everything about the software. I just know like basics. And even when I was like doing the tutorial for the Clip Studio sponsorship, I did it then, and then I kind of like haven't colored anything for a while, so I kind of forgot some of this stuff. So thank you so much. Oh, yeah, Michael. So yes, Clip Studio Paint, yes. Or what is it? What's the name of the company, you guys? It's 1 second. Anyways, yes, thank you. Celsius. I can remember how it looks. Does TR do t-shirts? Okay, so let's fill in the background. It's pretty jarring, right? But that's what we want. So, and maybe since the light is this way, okay, you know what? I got an idea. Let's go this. My swatches go. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna turn the stabilization up from my lasso tool, since I'm just gonna be filling in the base color. So maybe that's too bright. I don't know if I like that. Let's go with 50%. And I don't really use the automated tool that actually fills in the base color, because my lines aren't like completely perfectly enclosed. So oh, awesome. You know what, one of the programs that I was learning was the free Blender. That's what I was using a couple years ago, and I never got back to it, but that was a fun 3D software to use. lasso tool is more accurate. So let's see. Yeah, you could do that, huh? Let's see here. What color do I want her hair to be? Let's do, I don't want gray, maybe blue. That's how I do it sometimes, or sometimes I just use a brush. So, because I'm so used to coloring with my hand. So, for example, because I'm so used to coloring with markers, instead of me doing the lasso tool, unless it's like a really big area, I just do it like this. So whatever speeds up my process mentally, and going from like traditional to digital. So. Okay, so let's just say we have the base color. The next step that I take, basically, I'm skipping around a little bit, is I do multiply layer for the shadows. And so since she's indoors, I'm just gonna play around with this for a little bit. Don't like that, but maybe a bit more on the gray. Maybe a little bit lighter. Yeah, that works. So I know everybody has like a better, more streamlined version of doing it, but I kind of just jump right in and do what I'm used to half the time, because this is my own book. But if it was like a book I'm doing for someone else, I'd be a little bit more methodical about my strategy and stuff. So, and she's got a monitor lights coming from both sides, so chances are I'm going to go back in and actually use some dodge and glow, which is one of my favorite filters on here. So yeah. Let's turn the opacity down. Yeah, I know. They need to, I don't know if they need to, because I guess the point of drawing on paper is because it feels like you're drawing on paper. But yeah, this pen is pretty comfortable, I think. And, you know, I've been doing it for a few years, so I'm kind of used to how this feels. So, quick thing I wanted to show you guys is smudge tool, was it? Oh, J, I think it's J. Yeah, blend. That's my favorite tool here. It's a lot like Procreate in that way, you know, and then you turn the thing down so it's not super smudgy and smeary. But I'll do this really quick just a demo for you guys, and then I'll go back to like doing what I normally do, which is I do all the base tones first before I start, like, you know, getting into this stuff right here. So okay, so we'll leave that for now because I'm not actually going to do anything, but I'm going to go and actually do the base tones again. So anyhow, okay, so what did we do for her? Right, was it right here? That's what I'm gonna use for comics. Yes, it is. You know what's awesome is Clip Studio does have like a demo, so you guys should try it out before you commit to it. I mean, I have Photoshop and Clip Studio, and so I'm paying monthly, obviously, for Photoshop. So yeah. Okay. So I have to do 40 pages like this. So this program makes it so much easier for me to like color nowadays. Oh, sorry. Thanks, guys. Have I been drawing for that long? Thank you so much, T-Art. Oh, so JD, that's a great question. You know, I think about that all the time actually. Because each program has like really cool things, you know, that you could do. And it's really hard to just stick with one software. But like for me, prepping the file and sending it out because of the kind of tweaks you have to do with color and stuff, I like using Photoshop for that. And then Procreate, obviously, it's really good thing to comp and do things on a fly. And then the brushes are awesome. So it's such a streamlined software, but it, you know, it has limitations. And so this is kind of like the in-between, I guess, if you want to call it that. Pocky. Hey, what's up, Trevor? It's a bit much for Pocky. Okay, how about that? No. Okay. So what programs or software do you guys use to do digital art, if you use anything at all, like Procreate or Photoshop or Clip Studio? Hey, what's up, Joey? Oh, I forgot to remind you, you have to actually, I saw that you tried subscribing to the newsletter and it says that you have to, it's pending because you have to like verify it on an email, and the verification email might have like got put in the spam folder or something. Paint Tool Sai. Oh, I remember Paint Tool Sai. Nian, that's awesome. That was, I always wanted that software, but I was never able to afford it back in the day, so. Oh, Kanan, that's awesome. Yeah, I haven't like opened up my iPad in a long time. I've pretty much been stationary when I work, so a lot of the stuff has been on paper or just when I do colors, like at my desktop. So, environment props in general world before jumping into drawing the comic. So, Auto Cafe, how much research? I do a ton of research before I jump into drawing, coloring, and illustrating the backgrounds. I do a lot of like, it used to be, I used to Google stuff, and then I have a lot of art books where I just kind of look at references and how they approach something. Like I used to have like the Fallout 4 art book, Borderlands, and what is it, Mass Effect. I had a bunch of those really thick art books in Final Fantasy, and so I wouldn't copy what they did, but you had an idea of their approach to like certain genres and stuff. And then I used to Google it, but now if you Google, as you guys know, images, it's mostly, or it's like 50-50 AI, so it's like, it's hard to tell if it's any good, and it gets mixed in there with everything. And even if you're trying to look for references for like people, it's just all over the place. So Um, yeah, it's been rough, especially because I don't have all my art books with me. They're in storage still, so it's like it's really hard to get really good references right now. But I've been doing this long enough where I have a general idea of like the direction I want to go with, and if I'm working with like a team, they already kind of have an idea of what something's going to look like, or they already have references for the book that we're doing. So, hey, what's up, Daryl? I mean, Procreate was a godsend. If you think about it, like the fact that it was super cheap, it's on your iPad. I mean, it was like it was a game changer. Who would have thought? You know, like that Procreate was going to change the landscape, and you could animate on it, and it's just like the brushes are amazing. So it was super awesome that finally happened, and it opened up the market for everybody to be able to make things digitally and just produce work quicker. You know, so Fashel, I went to a 2 year school for design. Yeah, I guess you could say art, and I went to Art Institute for like a hot minute. And but no, I don't know if I consider it an art degree or more like a design degree. But honestly, nowadays, the cost of going to school versus just learning on the internet and working really hard is probably way better, if I'm being honest. You're going to get, a lot more out of that. As long as you're somebody who's self-motivated to get better. I mean, and it's really hard not to be motivated as an artist because it's so much fun once you get the hang of it and you actually do it all the time. And then you improve. I've seen everybody who keeps drawing always improves from what I could tell. So... Oh, Kanan, okay, so yes, I did draw Lady Mechanica, but so Joe Benitez is the creator, artist, writer, and along with Marcia, and I only did one volume of it, so the one right before the one that's coming out now, I did like 6 issues, so I did just one series of that. But yeah, I say that just because Joe's work is so awesome, and I mean, thank you if you do like my work, no big deal. But yeah, his stuff is so amazing. It's like hard to yeah, he's my idol, so hard to outdo what he did with Lady Mechanica. So Fishal, this is like it's a comic, but then it's gonna have a black and white edition, and it's obviously the style is very inspired by manga, so I like to call it comic manga, but really it's like the format's gonna be comic book up until the paper size and everything too. So yeah, I guess you could say this is a manga. I mean comics. I'm confusing myself. Yes. Magical posters. I started drawing comic books professionally. Jeez. What year is that? Like interior work. I didn't start until about 2013, but then I did cover art since like 2000, 2009, I think. So I've been doing it for a long time. Oh, Richard, that's awesome. Yeah, you know what? Sometimes drawing in the middle, like after you've gotten everything done, I think some people like drawing at night and they're more productive because you realize someone's going to bother you while you're getting into your flow state of drawing, I guess. At least that's how I see it. Oops. Yeah, Joe Benitez is the GOAT. I mean, I am so lucky to have like all these really awesome artists as friends and mentors. I've always wanted to work with them, so it's like a dream come true. Hey, Shelton. Yeah, see what I mean? Like sometimes being productive, you're like, oh, I work better at night, but it's like, is it really that, or is it because you're finally able to like, no one's bothering you, and you get like your flow state? Because it takes a hot like 15 to 20 minutes just to get into your flow state. Even now, it's like if I get distracted and it'd be impossible to get my work done. So I try to keep, as soon as I wake up, I don't actually check my phone. I just leave it where the lamp is behind me, and like I never have to look at it until I need to. But usually I just check emails first. So Joey, how do you ink Mark Silvestri? You have to kind of be flowy with him in a way, and you don't have to be perfect, but I think you have to have the same approach, you know, where it's not like super refined. You just have to know how to flow with him. But I think if I tried, I could probably ink Mark, because I had to ink a couple of stuff, a couple of covers by Joe Benitez. So I was inking and also doing watercolor on Joe's pieces, and so it's possible. Those top cow guys, I swear. So facial, is it facial? I'll just say, can I just, for short, can I just say Faye? I think obviously learning fundamentals, but also don't overdo it. Like, let's just say you want to learn anatomy, and you know that you're supposed to draw 8 hours a day. The last thing you want to do, honestly, is to draw anatomy for 8 hours a day. I think good practice is like 2 solid hours, if that, on things that you know you need to learn, like composition, line weight, anatomy, perspective. But I would break it down into digestible chunks, and you know, at first it seems like it's a slow start, but then once you do it for, let's just say, a month, you get kind of used to it, and then you're having more fun and more momentum. But if you spend too much time studying for long hours, unless you really enjoy it, you're just killing yourself doing that, you know. So I would do that, and then I would take a break and just draw something I like drawing for fun. That to me is how I would approach studying anything. But fundamentals like composition, line weight, flow, anatomy, perspective. What's the other one I'm thinking? Understanding value and you know, values and stuff like that. So copycatting isn't illegal unless it's obvious and you're trying to make money off of it, and if someone sees it and they could basically say that you copied them. Yeah, so there's a certain point where copying something and trying to make money off of it is definitely not legal. Joey, yes, exactly. Only if you try to sell it. Yeah, Richard. Saga, I think the reason why it seems hard is because you subconsciously you feel like you have to draw every blade of grass, but if you just squint your eyes and things in the background are like maybe a squiggly line, and then things in the front are like you can see the grass, so you just have to represent the grass and not actually draw all of it, and I think that's why it seems difficult and complicated. No problem, BT. I should keep going. So what I like to do usually when I'm doing this, and I have a deadline, is I like to, kind of like when I do my pages, I like to ink the outside first and everything. Well, in terms of coloring, I like to fill in the biggest shapes first, so I feel that momentum. Rotate. TM Aspen, hello. Did I miss somebody in here? I feel like I missed a bunch of sell on my eBay store. I'm always busy. Yeah, it's like once you decide you're an artist, it's hard to separate the two. So you just keep going. You know what I mean? So that's awesome that you're selling your stuff on eBay. You got to start somewhere, and I think even just doing a little bit of that is like there's a momentum there. You know? Slippery banana. That's pretty funny, Joey. Thank you. Hey Liz, what's up? Yeah, I know. I mean, even if it's just a hobby, just being able to draw something is just fun. Being able to create, it's like a good outlet. It shouldn't be stressful. You know, I know that if you want to do it for a living, it seems like it's stressful, but to me, it's like I treat it like it's almost like a football game. Like you get competitive and you have to enjoy challenging yourself and the competition of it. And I say competition with yourself because there's no reason to compete with another artist. We might, want to be like them or get to that place, but yeah, I compete with myself when I'm trying to get better. When I see like my friends who do really good work, I want to improve right away, and I tend to get competitive with myself. And it's like I wonder if I could do that. So especially with my own book right now, I'm like I gotta get to a certain point because there's certain things that I want to illustrate that I haven't been able to yet, or I don't feel like I'm as good as I should be and comfortable with. Like backgrounds, I could do it, but I mean I don't jump into it like super excited to draw backgrounds or anything. I'm sure I'm not the only one. Okay, bye. Thank you so much for helping us, T-Art. Oh, awesome. Yeah, what not awesome. I think I did a couple of variant covers for them. Like I think it was Ninja Turtles and was it Transformers? I might be wrong. I know it's definitely one of those covers. That's a whatnot cover. You mean, Omar, you mean like the background? So what you want to do is set the tone for the background, and since this is at night, I make it a darker color, and then I overlay the character color so that there's a consistency with lighting. So you always want to do that first. And let's just say, for example, so that's the base background tone. I add, let's see, right here. So the screen is going to be like a bluish tone. So let's see. So over this color, you basically just start to add the base tones, and then you go in later, and then you add, let's just say, gradients like this. So for example, let's do an airbrush or something, or gradient. Yeah. So this is just an example. You see how that looks right there? So you just take the base tone and then you add layers of like gradients underneath or on top of it. Yeah, let's see here. Do this one. Oops, that's what I didn't want to do. Marquee. So yeah, now you have, so now it's no longer the one color, but it just ensures that all your colors are pretty consistent. Because the name of this game is speed to get through the basics, and then you can get to doing all the really fun stuff. So Richard, yes, Ninja Turtles. Yeah, I know. The drawing process is definitely slow, and honestly, I'm not the best person to ask the feeling of starting, like when you're learning the basics, because it was so long ago for me. But to be fair, there was a lull where I wasn't getting that good, and finally I just got frustrated with how my art looked, and I just went for it, and every day I was sketching in my sketchbook. So I have a box full of sketchbooks right now of just stuff I was doing, and I just really got into it because I wanted to learn so bad. I think you have to really want it, and then it becomes fun, you know. Facile, I'm 44 right now, so I'm not 26 anymore. I started when I was 26 professionally, so yeah, I have way more than 12 years of experience. The best editor? uh, Events, of course. Yeah, I know what you mean. The assets, yeah, for sure. Assets would be really good. I've just been lucky that I've been doing this long enough where I have like this my process pretty locked in, and I just add to my toolkit, you know, here and there, but nothing crazy. Um, I get the work done and get it done on time, and I have fun, and then I get to enjoy being an adult. Maybe I like this color. It's purple. Oh, come on, Pocky. Whatever. He'll look better later. Cheers, Joey. Thanks. What's up, Kanan? Yeah, man. I've been doing it for a while. So I'm one of the lucky ones that still does it for work. So, and now I feel like I'm on my next journey to publishing my own stuff. So at least for the time being, and I have like 4 volumes at least planned for this story arc. So I had a really good conversation with my buddy the other day about you know, like what's the legacy look like for a comic book artist, and how do you have that staying power. And I was like, we decided that we have to do, based off what Robert Kirkman was saying and Todd McFarlane, anywhere between 40 to 50 issues, and then it's like, then you're legit, like your story has legs, and it's gonna stand the test of time. So that's what I'm aiming for. 40 issues of this thing, you know, and then you guys can't live without Pocky. Michael, what, you feel 90? Man, there's days when I feel like I'm 100 and days when I feel like I'm 5 years old. So there's no in-betweens there. I'm 5 years old right now. Don't I wish. Yeah, well, you know, you got to eat your vegetables, I guess. You know, Saga, it's interesting because I talked to some of my editor friends, and they say that the one thing that impresses them about someone is if they try to at least self-publish your stuff first, and it shows how serious you are, you know, like, and then you have a body of work where they could, if they want to hire you, they know what you're capable of because you've proven that you could do it. So it's actually a great idea to self-publish if you can, even if it's a web comic. It's just proof that you could do the work, you know. So, and then you know the whole process as well, and you know kind of how things flow, I guess. Was it Feshal? I probably don't. I don't want to. I'm gonna keep that private, I think. Yeah. So you know what? What color is his eyes? the silly thing about Pocky is, in real life, I know you guys have seen some photos of him. He actually is kind of cross-eyed, and he's got really light blue eyes. And so when he was a kitten, sometimes he would bob his head a little bit because he had a tiny neck and he was cross-eyed. So nothing he looked at, it was just, even when he got into trouble, he was like a cute kitty cat. So I'm inspired by this little guy. A toy art? No, actually I have traditional. So I showed this one earlier. So this is actually the page that I did on paper, and then I'm coloring this one digitally just because of the time and how many pages we're doing. But the covers I might still color with markers or ink, but for the interior art I'm just gonna do digital coloring. So yeah. Oops, that's the color of his teeth. Oh yeah, Richard. So you know what? I was using the same jar of ink for I think a year, which is crazy, right? And I just opened a new bottle the other day, and I kind of missed the really old ink where the ink was really thick, and my lines, you kind of see the lines on the page where it's really kind of brush like, but the new ink is, there I go again. The new ink is making it, it's making it so everything, the lines look kind of a little too perfect and not as soft, so. Yeah, they do, don't they, Robbie? They do have, they look kind of cross-eyed. It's so cute. Hey, the goat. I'm missing your screen name. Aw, Joey, you're a cat daddy. TM Arnie Stack uses using my work? No, not yet. Maybe at some point. Thank you so much, Michael. Yeah, I'm excited. And actually, to be honest with you, doesn't matter how long I've been doing this for, but I'm so nervous about putting my own book out. It's like, well, what if nobody wants it? That's embarrassing. I feel like you guys can't be forced to buy my book anymore because the publisher isn't putting it out. So yeah, there is definitely an advantage to old ink, Richard. I love it. And you know, I was like, I forgot to close the lid on the ink jar, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't have done that, but I actually like how it looks when you leave it open for a while, but then, you know, it dries up and stuff. So yeah. Okay. Let's see if I could speed this process up way more, because I'm just noodling right now. Okay, so Helisandra says, I love to watch pro streams. Sometimes even you have issues to draw something because I used to think only beginners struggle with it. Jim Lee, Frank Cho, and David Fincher are my favorite. Oh, I love those guys too. And you know, we all struggle. It's just like, you know, now that you see the magic, it doesn't seem like magic. But you know, internally, we're trying to figure things out. And I think the magic is in this, the story, problem solving aspect of it in your head. So some people like to say it. Some people like they're good at hiding what they're thinking in their head. But sometimes you're like, oh, snaps! You know, this stuff is not easy. The real Chewy walkabout. Yes, I would love to do animation. In fact, I'm trying to do a quick 30-second to 1 minute animation for the Kickstarter. So we'll see if I even get to it. But if I have time, I will definitely do that. Joey, you see, oops. Yeah, I guess I should have read that part first. Yes, I am a workaholic. But I mean, you know. Well, I haven't done anything with the animation yet, so you can't call it a spinning plate until all of a sudden I open up Clip Studio and I start animating. Then you could say it's a spinning plate, but I'm trying to be a little bit more practical. But lucky for me, I don't have to spin too many plates right now because I have people helping me with the Kickstarter in terms of like all the logistical stuff that doesn't have to do with the art and figuring things out, and so I'm not doing it all alone, so I'm very lucky in that way. I know some of my friends had to do most of it themselves with like fulfillment and all that stuff, but I want to make sure that once the book is done, you guys have it in your hands as quickly as possible and as well packaged as possible. So I have a team that's actually done it multiple times already, so I'm not doing that myself. You know what, Robbie, I would love to, but then if someone asks me a question, I can't help myself. I have to like respond. Maybe at some point I can stream and just have copyright music. That would suck. But I would love to have music or something playing. You know. The problem is like the free YouTube music. It's like it loops, so after a couple minutes, it just becomes something else. But I know that there's other people that stream and they probably use royalty-free music or something. Okay. I was just gonna simplify it and just make everything like her clothing like a gray so that I could come back and add more detail later, I guess. So. Yeah, JD, that's definitely a quality that I was like not willing to let go of, because you know, if I'm being honest, as us artists, it's already hard enough to like, you know, eke a living out doing this stuff, and then for you to have to go and invest in yourself and spend money on things, it's like so hard to pry the money away. But at some point you're like, well, you know, the amount of time that I save by getting people to do what they do best is probably way better than me doing something so I could focus on the art aspect of it instead of like all the administrative stuff. Oh, hey, what's up, Josh? Awesome. Well, kudos to you for teaching art because I think it's important. I think my most inspired, the people who inspired me the most and also like gave me motivation to keep going with art was my two art teachers in high school. Oh, actually, you know what? And my middle school teacher, she was amazing, and they just kept me going. So like art teachers are so important. I don't know if you realize that, but thank you so much for being a teacher and self-publisher and everything. Joey, I wonder about that. I'm pretty sure all these softwares could do that for you. I think even Clip Studio has a feature that colors kind of like at least flattens the artwork for you, or tries to, or color flats it for you, and then even gradient does a gradient for you. So Joey, if you wanted to like search on YouTube to see if there's videos for Clip Studio Paint, I think they actually have an aspect of this software that does color a decent chunk for you. So Robert, I want to draw. You could draw right now. You could draw with me. Oh yeah, I know. I'm trying to, like trying to speed up this coloring process too. But you know what? I actually like coloring as well. So, um, lucky for me, since I'm doing all the art myself, I know where I could take strategic shortcuts without taking. Ooh, boy, what did I just do? Um, crazy shortcuts. So. Uh, crowding versus self-funding. What do I think? Um, I think both. It all depends on how much money you have and are willing to invest, and how badly do you want to put your book out there. I think depending on your finances, there's ways of investing. It's kind of like venture capital and all this stuff. They invest in people, and then, so it's either you have your own money to invest, and you've been, because it's so expensive to publish and distribution and everything, that sometimes you have to go through a publisher, or you either go through a publisher in that market, or you go through people who would want your book. And sometimes like crowdfunding is good just because you could see if your story resonates with people. So I feel like that's why crowdfunding is good, just if you're not quite sure and you're not like prepared financially to take on hundreds of thousands of dollars of publishing, so. Hey, what's up? Is Anakin, right? Uh, oh, that's awesome, Joshua. Yeah, thank you for showing my stuff. I'm sure there's plenty of awesome people on YouTube and Instagram that could really excite them. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that everybody should be a professional artist if they don't want to be, and it's tough. But if they have the drive, or even just like my philosophy is, being creative is never a bad thing. Like you could use it. It could basically help enrich all sorts of, or all aspects of your life, and also like helps with like creative problem solving as well, I think. Oh, no problem, One Mighty R. Like, yeah, I think if you could do crowdfunding, great. If you're still trying to build that momentum, I would build, you do the webtoons or whatever you could afford to do. As long as you really want to get your story out there and maybe practice just being, I guess, putting yourself out there and then improving, then it kind of helps. And like, even with me, I've been doing podcasts with my friends for like 2 years just to kind of pick their brain about their process for publishing. And so even with me doing this for as long as I have, it took me 2 years to kind of be ready to do my own Kickstarter and publishing and stuff. So yeah, that's the plan. So TM, right this very second, Neo Wonderland is the only thing I'm working on. I finished all my other obligations, contracts, and variant covers, so this is basically it, and I'm excited. I'm also scared, like I said, because I'm relying myself solely to get this book out there, and I'm doing commissions. Basically, it took a while for me to get to them, so I'm finally finishing up a batch of commissions that I have accumulated in the last year or so. With professional artist was getting publishers to pay you. I grew to hate accountants. Oh man, Michael. Yeah, I know, right? That's why you have to. I guess there's no real easy way to easy route, but then, or I shouldn't say easy. Everything's hard, right? A defined route that everybody could take that would work. I don't think it's possible nowadays. That's both, I think, good and bad, because on the one hand, like you could do whatever fits you and curate your approach, and on the other hand, there's a lot of competition too. But it was going to be hard either way, I guess, to get going. So Harlan the Goat, yes, it's coming back. It's been easier for me to do this since I've been so busy. I haven't had the chance to, and I need to get back in contact with a couple of the people that I'm going to be podcasting with. So yeah, TM, I'm glad I'm finally doing it. I was like, if I don't do it now, it's never happening. So okay, I'm just gonna place hold her chair a light color, I think. Yes, JD, I am taking a break from that one for now from the documentary that I was working on to work on Neo Wonderland, and it's gonna be going back to back. But yeah, this has to happen first, I think. Let's see, what did I miss? Yes, Joshua, for sure. Like that's I think I was watching Ink Pulp podcast, and they had an artist who has his own, I think he's sculpting company, or he's heading the sculpting company, and he was an art teacher, and the story that he talked about, like where there would be like a really talented student, but their family wouldn't want them to pursue art as a professional career, and luckily the parent really didn't say anything, and at some point that kid did really well, and I think he's on his way to being a professional artist. So, and I think the reason why art is as difficult as it is because a lot of times we talk about like the artistic side of being an artist, but I think it's kind of like, maybe it's a little boring to talk about the business side of art, and just how you approach it as a business, and treat it like any business, where when you do the work you get paid, and like there's a tax process, and then like a profit loss approach to it. Those are things that sound really boring, but every professional artist who's not really saying a lot about it, but then now there's more channels talking about the business side of art. Like the more you understand that, I think the more successful artists we're going to have. And I know this is a little hot take for me, but that's how you prevent AI from fully taking over what we do. Like I've mentioned before, like art is an exclusively human thing in a way. Yes, you could introduce different aspects and tools to it, but essentially people love to cheer for other people, and not robots, for example. Like my one example was, there's a reason why we're always going to want to watch two people playing chess and champions that are human, and not two robots playing chess, because that's ridiculous, right? Two robots playing chess, like a human, I guess two different humans could program the AI and then see who beats the other one. But yeah, art is an exclusively human thing. And I could get into that, but my brain is like half trying to get this done, and half just rambling. I'm digressing. Yeah, we're never going to fully be on board with just like AI doing all the artistic stuff, because that's the one part of our brain that for some reason it's so spiritual and special that we don't seek out art like something that's not human telling us the human story. You know, like you could use it as a tool, but I don't think you could ever replace, you know, like what if we find out that one of your favorite movies, like it's about, let's just say, a love story. It's so trite and so like uninteresting. I mean, even humans write that story, right? And so it doesn't interest you. And so if a human can't do it, you could say that a robot knows how to pull those strings. But I think that there's some part of us that kind of inherently knows when something's just a little off, you know, like the uncanny valley of storytelling and art, I guess. Those are some great colors. Which color comic are you working on right now? Oh, so Echo, this is actually my very own comic book, Neo Wonderland, which I am going to be kickstarting. Goal is October 28th. We're getting everything ready. But yeah, this is my creator owned book. It's going to be cyberpunk. And I've had this concept in my brain for like 20 to 25 years. It's changed a lot. But then there's some stuff that's kind of pretty much the same, like the core of the story. Yes, Michael, AI becomes predictable. So, I mean, I think I heard my friend saying this. He's like, you know, because we've been doing it for a while, so you have an idea of what it takes to be an artist and to tell a story and create art that actually has feeling and meaning. And we decided that he and I were not intimidated by AI. We're like, oh, AI, yeah. And we shouldn't let it, you know what I mean? Like, I think it's really kind of up to us to like kind of be confident in why we want to be an artist in the first place. It's not going to replace us. It's going to do some weird stuff, and companies like corporations are going to think they can, but here's the advantage of it. Think about the fact that we're doing like Kickstarter now and trying to get our work out there. There's an avenue now for people who want real art. The people who had the talent to work in these studios in the first place are basically going to be able to go make and build their own thing and tell their own stories and have their own teams that care about stories like that. It's like a blessing in disguise in a way, because now a lot of those corporate companies that are doing, you know, art, animation, and games and stuff like that, it's going to be competing basically with the little guys that basically start to build their own empire in a way. Think about all the indie games that came out in the past few years. We're always going to want something like that. So just... that's my silver lining, I guess. I mean, imagine if I didn't feel that way. Like, it's pretty depressing. You kind of have to believe in something. So, I digress. I'm going to go back to coloring. Thank you so much, Echo. Yes, if 5 of you buy my book, then I think they say if 5 people buy your book, then, or love your work, then you're probably going to find a few more. So, that's what I'm hoping. What color should I make it? Okay, I'm gonna color, you know, maybe. Okay, I'm gonna put a placeholder color for the nuggets because I don't know what color I want to make them yet. And that's what's nice about having all these layers is you can go back and change colors. So. You'll pitch it on the Kickstarter. Thank you so much, Cleaver. Only too sloppy in the story. I was ready to trash it until it became too realistic, which is certainly good, but still, you know, fake or well, artificial. Yeah, you know, Echo, even though, and it will look really good, trust me, you're going to be like, is that real or is that like AI? But the thing is, oh, what the heck happened there? Yeah, okay, I get it. That's what happened. I just think that we appreciate humans making art, at least most of the time. And more power to anybody who doesn't care if it's human or not. I still think, even if that's the case, and let's just say there's people who do love straight up AI art and creations, there's still going to be more people who like not traditional, but people making stuff. So I think it's just an odds thing more than it is like 100% of something's going to happen. And it's like that with even, let's just say, photography, right? I mean, look at how much that has changed. So Richard, right now the base for the book, the before the Kickstarter happens, is going to be 40 pages of story, between 40 to what is it, 40 to 42 pages or so. And Analia, thank you. So I love textures a lot, and I know that depending on the artist, from both sides, as long as let's see, I don't like things that look too digital, so I kind of throw that away from certain aspects of Western art. And I do like the proportions, like the face and stuff like that on Japanese art, and I love screen tones, which I wouldn't say it's exclusively Japanese, but since manga is black and white, they use it a lot more than Western art, so I kind of combine those things, and I like just putting a lot of detail in, but I think it's mostly a proportion thing, and then also like the shapes of things. I like how hair is shaped in Japanese art, manga, and let's just say fabric, and how the lines look, but then I think I like to lean more towards the Japanese in terms of like the proportions on the face and stuff. So I know it's kind of vague in a way, and maybe I like the way that in American art, the backgrounds a lot of artists tend to draw backgrounds in most of the pages, or panels I should say, and then I kind of like that aspect of it. But this is my first book working on it in this style, so I'm going to find out after the first 40 pages if I need to take something away or put something back in to make it kind of my own style, you know? What type of paper do most comic books use when they end up getting published? I feel thin and glossier compared to comic boards from where they have been drawn. So Echo, I use, it's a bristle board, and a lot of times it's like, this one it's 130 pounds, so usually comic book paper is anywhere between 100 to 130 pounds. It's pretty heavy, and it's some people like it glossy, semi-gloss, or like a little, what is it called? It's called a plate. Some people like it where it's kind of raw still and there's texture. It all depends on what your inking style is and kind of your pencil style. So it's effective in... Oh yes, matte. Thank you. Matte paper, yeah. Ink wash on bristle, especially the heavier stuff, is really good. So the 120. This one does really good on ink wash. I don't know if I can. Can't really see it now that I scanned it. What happened? Did I do something weird? I think I did. Huh. I might have accidentally deleted something and not realized it. Oh well. So you know, I'm actually very fortunate because I think Sketch Art by Mark mentioned digital, a blend of digital and traditional. So this has actually been around for so many years, and I've been fortunate that one of the pioneers of coloring digitally from back in the 90s in Photoshop was, remember when Image started doing it, and it was a big deal. And then one of my colleagues slash mentor slash friend, Peter Steigerwald, was one of the guys that started to color in Photoshop and kind of learn these different techniques. And I wish he was here to talk about it, but they were the ones that kind of started to pioneer the way that you'd approach coloring digitally. Him and a few other people at Image at the time. And that was kind of something that everybody started doing after a while, and the technology got better and there's more colors and stuff. And so, I mean, some of you already know what Peter's stuff looks like, so you kind of see like he does a lot of the magenta and stuff like that. And so I kind of learned a lot from him and how he layers things, and then slowly kind of just picked out my own like approach to coloring digitally. And you know, so when I first started working in comics, I was working for Aspen, and I was doing variant covers and stuff, and most of that stuff was done in Photoshop, coloring, painted in Photoshop, you know. And then after that, I wanted to try my hand at doing interior stuff. So that's kind of how I progressed. Yeah, Peter. See? Peter's awesome. And you know what's awesome about Peter? And this is why I love Peter so much. He is a great mentor because he does not hold back. He is just really straightforward with his critiques or edits, and I learned a lot from him. So that's kind of where I get my, like, when someone gives me feedback on my art, I don't take it personally because I was around Peter Steigerwald, so I didn't need any extra help with that. Oh yeah, you know what, Cleaver Art? If you want to like entry level bristle, if you go to your nearby like Michaels or any hobby store that you see, a lot of times they carry bristle, and then they carry it in those 11 by 17 pads, and so they're not that expensive. If you invest in like the Eon boards that I have, they're a little bit more, but if you want to just start out, you should be able to get some from your local hobby store and stuff. But obviously I've been using eons for eons, Eon boards for eons. Oh, Richard, I don't know what that looks like, but that sounds cool. Yeah, it's kind of bland right now. I wish I had. What time is it now? Um, okay, so yeah, I wish I had the time to like add all the cool neon colors. I'm wondering if I should like do another stream tomorrow just to get this done. But I'll check my schedule because I really do want to show you guys all the neon colors and stuff. That would be so much fun. Eons for eons. Yeah, Kanan, so many comics, and I think they're gonna have their Kickstarter soon for the second volume of Echoes. So I don't quote me. I don't know when that's happening. And you guys know Michael Turner was like a huge idol to me for many many years, and I worked with him for like 10 years or so, full time. So they were definitely my family. Neon color video, yes, I should label it neon tomorrow. If I do tomorrow's stream, it's gonna be short notice again because I had so much going on this week with the business and stuff like that, and I'm likely gonna start ramping up. So it's gonna be an interesting schedule to try to figure out when to do everything. But I'll let you guys know for sure. It sucks. IG automatically crops pics before they get posted. I know, right? I guess beforehand nowadays, I know what size my pictures should be or my post on Instagram, but isn't there a feature where it's like it's not fully cropped, but then you have all this space in between? Yeah. I just kind of learned to deal with like making my post square or square-ish. I guess doing videos is kind of hard too because it's horizontal. So yeah, I just crop it or frame it while I'm taking the picture beforehand in order to get the for it to look good on IG, which I'm not great at either. Sometimes I'm like, it's better to post something than overthink it and just not post it at all. So sometimes I don't overly plan the cropping and stuff, and I just post it anyways. Oh, bye, Alpha. Thank you for hanging out with us on Saturday. Oh, really, Cleaver? And then it just cropped it off? Interesting. Huh. And you made it a square? You know, maybe I'll try it and see what happens if I do it. It's so interesting how that works. Yeah, suburban view. I see what you mean. Like, I forget what I concluded with that whole copyright thing and taking from actual artists. It's like we're basically experiencing the same problems that musicians started to experience with like record labels and streaming and all that and film. So we all kind of like now are slowly starting to realize the effect of like new technology cropping up and then taking the royalties away from artists and stuff like that. So for better or worse, you know. So that's kind of why I'm like, you know, that's true, and that's why I'm approaching what I'm doing the way that I'm approaching it, because that's guaranteed for me to at least like to do what I'm doing. In fact, I think I have not had. I was just curious when that whole thing came up with Chat GPT. I think we tried to put my name in there and make a piece of art with something in the style of Sia Om, and it did not look anything like my stuff. I'm like, I don't know if I should be happy about that or sad, because that means A, I don't have a style, and B, you know, my stuff is so unique that it can't copy me. I don't know, but it didn't look right, so yeah. I guess that's my advantage and disadvantage. Suburban, I see what you mean now, and I think we have to find really smart ways of. We really have to work on trying to figure that whole thing out, and we actually have to do it together. We can't like, spread our opinions on that too much. And you know what would be funny is ask ChatGPT to create a software that will protect original artists from art theft from AI art. Wouldn't that be funny? And it comes up with like some software it writes that you could install as a plugin for your artwork when you're creating it, and then when you put it online it protects it, but then an AI basically created it. Hey, you know what? Use it against itself. So I'm sure it could do that. Daryl, is it really? Does it work really well? Was it night? What is it called? Glaze. Yeah. If it works well, I'm curious. Hey, what? Okay, I'm getting tons of stuff these days. Agent Smith and Matrix. Joey, that is hilarious. Yes, Agent Smith. You know, that's what I'm gonna name the plugin for protecting my stuff from AI is Agent Smith. It sounds like a what is it? Bioweapon or something as well. Meadows internal memos leaked, and they literally admitted that they were doing illegal, but it was cheaper to deal with the lawsuits than pay. Oof, interesting. News to me. That's an idea. Michael, you can't wait to get an AI wife? Like, do you mean an AI wife like on the computer, or one that's they put in like a physical body and then you program the the brain and everything? Detective Buckets, the main character's name is Saint and his brother's name is Shin, and there is a reason for those names, and it's supposed to be ironic in a way. So Not a secret. I should probably start using their name more often. And the female main character, her name is Aya. And kitty cat's name is Pocky. Joey, is it genius or is it just on the nose at that point? Protects your work from scraping, and Nightshade actively works to confuse or poison the AI bots, so that's a bonus. Wow, well, I guess we got it down pat, right? The whole AI art thing. Oops. How many accused of plagiarism does Pokemon Company have to take Polaroids of 3D printed Pokemon figurines and paste those on cards from now on? Yeah, it's interesting, huh? Hello, Stay Up 91. It's hello. Joey, 20 years of servitude talking here. Connecting with you on social media has been a blessing. I was always grateful. Turner is my number one. Oh, Turner, yes. By the way, he's such a great guy. He's kind of like how I would want to model myself as how you carry yourself, I guess, as an artist. If everybody loved him and his employees loved him and his friends loved him, I mean, that's what you want to be, you know? And maybe that's why everybody gravitated towards not only his art, but that's just him in general, just because he was such a sweet person. So this Echo is issue number one. And you guys are gonna see the other pages fully colored on the Kickstarter landing page. But do you remember I think I was inking this last week. I got further, but you can't really see it because my camera's not autofocusing. But so this is the page I'm gonna be coloring next, and it's got like a full-on cityscape, so you'll get to see like the fun stuff, I guess. The environment. Yes, Vince, I was waiting for you. That's why I'm still coloring, bro. Thank you so much, Suburban View. Yeah, I mean, I guess didn't Sean from Ink Pulp say, like, you know what, if you're worried about AI, just go out there and show your process. Keep working, keep drawing, and showing everybody how you do things. And I think that there's a lot to that, and I'm all for it. Oh, thank you, Cleaver. Yeah, I started doing the background late last night, and I was like, I should probably stop it. I just kept going, so. Michael, you're late. It's been almost 2 hours. Yeah, let's start. Okay. Everybody be quiet. Stop telling everybody what I said about Vince an hour ago so he doesn't know. He won't be able to read anything. He has to watch it all over again. Oh my gosh. Are you ready to play John, Vince? Please tell me he's not still sitting around waiting to talk smack. Oh, thank you so much, Sketch by Art Mark. You know what? The trick that I learned with naming your characters is keep them as short and memorable as possible whenever possible. So I had like all these, some of the secondary characters had like long names, and I was like, yeah, I gotta shorten those. So the names I have are like 2 syllables long in my comic book at most. Hope that doesn't ruin it for you guys. What does his ears look like? Eric, I heard from someone. It was. You heard it from me actually. My doppelganger on my Instagram. I was just telling everybody that Sean said to beat AI, you basically, the best thing you could do is to show people your process and keep kind of. Not only does it help grow the art itself, but then it shows people, the dedication, what it takes to be an artist, right? Mr. Canetti. Come on, Vince. I don't want to start over. Oh my gosh, imagine if a football game had to start over because somebody was late getting onto the field. Okay, yeah, let's do it again. Another hour and a half, you guys. Super Mario 56th birthday, Scooby-Doo. Oh my gosh, Scooby-Doo is... Oh, wow. Eric, that's awesome. You guys get to see me do color flats the whole time, what I should have done was, if I was thinking ahead, I should have did like color flats already on a separate page, and then kind of showed you guys just slowly how I did the whole thing, but I didn't think that far ahead. So yeah, and then now I'm talking too. Most people when they're doing color flats, they're not like talking. Just ask Peter Steigerwald, right? Vince, he's not talking to anybody. He's off in his little office doing colors. You know what? I'm going to ask you this, Vince, if you could hear me. How does it feel to be one of the few people in comic books still able to work in an environment where it's other artists and working in the studio environment versus like sitting at home, drawing and coloring and talking to yourself half the time? You know what? I'm just going to start doing the, what do you call it? Shading, color shading. Something's going on with this. It's not showing up. Oh, okay. Weird. Oh, that's such an knucklehead. That's what happened. Much better. Working in a studio is great. You get the luxury of learning from other creatives and get motivated, but they're also all a-holes. Yes. That's exactly what I was thinking. Not saying that you're an a-hole or anything. That's funny. I wish I could do that. But then part of me is like, maybe I don't want to work with other people. Man, what am I doing? Yeah, tell Megan. Yeah, to be fair to Vince, I kind of join in a little bit too. I remember the times that we'd be at conventions. Frank and I would just be the meanest people. We would talk so much smack, especially when we're like competing against each other during fantasy football. Yeah, so guilty. going on here? Oops. For out of dukes. I'd be really sad if I forgot to save some of my work here and then I have to go and redo this whole thing again. And she's won all the time, and it was the worst when I worked at Top Cow Studio in the 90s. More people, more a-holes. I kid, but they're all good people. Yes, you know what? It's just part of the camaraderie, I guess. You get to be kind of mean to each other, but at the end of the day, you know, you're all a team trying to work towards I'm just being cheesy here, but one of these days, Vince, I'm gonna have an art studio, so I say. I mean, I think that's a good thing to strive towards, right? You know what? I gotta rethink this because, the thing that I don't want is I don't want to over render the shadows and stuff. I kind of want it to look cel shaded, so it's a slightly different approach than what I'm used to coloring or how I'm used to approaching this. So I'm gonna get rid of all of the shading and blending I did. Sorry, guys. But see, that's kind of my inner workings and how my brain thinks. Yeah. In fact, man, I'm gonna have to delete this whole thing. Bye. Remember in the Wizard magazines where they would show everybody at Top Cow in their studio? That was so inspiring for me. That made me go, I want to draw comic books. I want to hang out with other artists too. And by the time I got there, I never really got to do that. Every once in a while, though, it was fun to stop by the studio, the Aspen studio in LA, so that was awesome. Oop, no. Jim. Yeah, I remember those pictures. Those were the days. So I don't know if I told you guys this, but if we get this Kickstarter to $1 million, I'm gonna open my own comic book store and coffee shop and toy store. I'm just joking. Maybe someday. Arcade. I'm just gonna try to go as fast as I can right now. What's my store gonna be called? See you later. I'm just joking. Well, it's not a bad idea. See you later, comics. See you later, games. I'm just skipping around because I want to try to get to some. I'm trying to feel for the. What the heck? 1 second. What's going on here? I don't know. I'm trying to get a feel for the vibe because this is actually the first technically the first page that I am coloring in the book. So I don't have like an exact approach yet. That I'm trying to playing around with, like, you know, cell shaded screen tones and a little bit of gradient, and then like, yeah. So have I echo? Well, if you count Eric Canetti and just talking to him all the time, that counts, right? Actually, oh my gosh, silly me. Yes, I have echo. I've just worked with Francis Manipul, so on the Rockefellers. I think it's issue 7, 8, and 9. So yeah, and Francis writes, draws, inks, and colors his stuff. So I'm thinking that maybe I should jump towards like kind of putting in place where the highlights would go, because right now the shadows aren't going to make that much sense. So yeah, I love all of their work. Echo. I've never worked with Lionel and then Stefan, but I've seen his stuff though. Yeah, Rockefellers is so awesome. It's a great story. It's heartbreaking too. The part of the story that I worked on was really heartbreaking. Yeah, he's a Canadian. What did I do? Okay, let's try this out and see how it looks. I might not keep it, but you just have to try it and see where we go from here. Okay, so I'm just gonna do this really quick. Okay, and then I don't know if that's necessary. Ooh, hoo-hoo. Spicy. Yes, Will Potasio. And I think he had a video that he released not that long ago, or he did an interview. He's a wealth of knowledge. With highlights, I like to at least have the light source be accurate, and then stylize it depending on like how soft or harsh the lighting is. Just to how I render it basically. Hey, what's up, Christian? The two-tone shading on her face looks amazing. Oh, thank you. So sometimes if I'm not sure like what direction to go in terms of color, I just make a separate layer, try to get the basic shape, and then come back to it later. Because what I'm trying to do is build like some dimension, I guess, on the page, and especially with the background, there's just so much going on. I just need to start, yeah. And it playing tricks on my mind because like I feel like I didn't really get anywhere with the background. So sometimes if I want to feel like I've momentum, I would kind of skip around and just go back to the background. So I'll label this one billboards, right? And start doing the lasso in the background. Just to separate from the foreground, I'm just going to make these. I guess blue. Dark blue. We got to go back to work. Thank you so much, Auto Cafe. Have a good rest of your weekend. Oh, Echo, yeah. I remember, I think I remember seeing those, and nowadays they just kind of recommend those videos on YouTube. You get to see them when they first started. It's so crazy. See, before you know it, kind of like just ask Vince. I think that I'm still trying to break in, and I look back and it's like, oh my God, it's been 10 years. I'm still trying to break in. What the heck? I'm sure they feel the same way, though. So you guys might have seen some of my other, like my earlier videos where I'm doing the neon signs and stuff in the background. This is basically it right here. It takes a bit. Okay, that's a good placeholder for now, for the window. I broke the door down breaking in. That reminds me of like, I don't know, Zoolander or something. You make the Zoolander face breaking into comics. Yeah. I mean, once you hit like the 5 year mark, you're like, I might as well just keep going. I've been drunk for 5 years. I might as well keep going. Oh yeah, Frank Quietly, man. Some people's art is just insane because of all the detail they put in or the perception of it. Because they know where to strategically place their mark making where it looks full and not like have to draw all the details, which is a trick, I guess, right? That took a long time for me to like learn, and honestly, I'm still learning. Oh boy, oh boy. I think I forgot to label some of these layers, so I'm gonna start to get a little lost here. Oh wait, maybe I did. Okay. Oh, thank you so much, Bill. Oh yeah, Jupiter's Legacy. Yeah, I remember that. I didn't get to read it, but I think I was at the comic book store just kind of flipping through it. His stuff is very serene, you know what I mean? It's like it looks realistic, but you know that he's not like rendering one for one the characters and the backgrounds and stuff. I think I'm gonna go for another 5 minutes, and then I'm probably gonna just do like a really quick schedule to do this maybe tomorrow. But then again, I forgot there's a bunch of football games. Maybe Monday then. So that way, you guys can see all the really fun stuff. I feel like with coloring pages and stuff, it takes doing the flats and then doing just all the legwork before you get to do all the really pretty fun stuff at the end, adding the sprinkles at the end. So I might do another stream on Monday just to get this going. So yeah, maybe maybe Monday again, and just because I'm pretty sure with all the games going on, the internet's gonna be super slow. Yeah, I'm torturing the kitty cat. He's like, no, no food for me. Oh, in fact, let me color in his cardboard. Yeah, I wanted to do all the neon and stuff today, but I did not think ahead to do the flats before I started streaming. So now yeah, there's like a bunch of flat colors. But really quickly, just so I can show you what I would be doing, probably Monday. What happened there? confusing. Okay, how about... What the heck? Okay, anyways. So, let's just say I am going to... What do you say? Like, do the lighting in a couple of days? Let's see. Let's get a different brush. This is very specific. Where's my airbrush? Here. So soft. The technique, and I think I've showed this on my where's it? On my tutorial for Clip Studio Paint, is like, oh geez. Does that work? No. It kind of adds like a glow to everything, and so you get like this cool halo effect. It's not looking all that hot right now. Anyways, so I do that, and then I also like make this a transparency, and I have no idea what's going on right now. Dude. Okay. Oh, I just locked the layer. Whatever. Let's not keep any of that. I did a horrible job explaining myself that time. Oh. Thank you. Man, that's when I know that I've been streaming for a while, because every half an hour that camera decides it wants to turn off. I need a new camera, I think, that doesn't have that function. Okay. I don't know what's going on there, but oh, thank you so much. Yeah, it's not neon enough for me. I wish I had an example of what I had in mind, but I don't. So, yeah, I think I'll do this probably again, just so I give you guys like a day, probably Monday my time, or maybe tomorrow. I have to look at when the football games are gonna come on, so I don't stream on when the game is going on, so, which is a bummer. Yeah, so I'm probably gonna work on this off camera for now, or maybe just randomly turn on the camera today when I'm doing the rest and not tell you guys and see if you notice, because I have to keep coloring this page. So yeah, and then I'm also have to ink another page, which is kind of a spoiler alert in a way. I don't know. I have to get this cleared with Kickstarter to make sure I could make this a preview page, but I can't show you what that looks like yet. It's kind of funny, like, now that I'm writing my own story, I could pick what pages I could preview instead of worrying about spoilers and stuff. But then also this kind of story that it is, it's like, there's tons of stuff that it carries on, and there's spoilers and stuff like that. So, plus I don't want to show you guys a boring page. It's like, hey, come and help kickstart my really boring comic book. Talking Heads or something. Okay, so yeah, I think I'll do a stream Monday. That's what I'm planning, but maybe sooner than that, so I'll let you guys know. But hey, thanks for hanging out with me again, you guys. Have a good night, Detective Buckets. I'm gonna say my goodbyes right now, I think, to you guys. So oh, thank you so much, Joshua. Yeah, I finally have internet that actually allows me to stream, so this was perfect timing. So, all right, Morris, thank you so much. You have a good weekend. Thanks, Jason. Thank you so much, Bill. Rock on. Have a great night, Trevor and Eduardo and Arthur. Yeezy versus Oshlot. It was a pleasure seeing your work. Thank you so much. Thanks, Daryl and Mr. Bucks. Have a good rest of your day. Is that so? My producer's coming in telling me that it's almost time to quit now. So stop live streaming, you guys. Take care, JD. I love jazz. Yes, I wish I could put some jazz on while I'm working, but. Yeah. See ya Monday at 4. See ya Monday. I love that because it sounds like see you later on Monday. Thanks for hanging out with me again, you guys. This was fun to be able to like finally color on the computer. I know it's been a long time coming, so. Mr. Bucks, we all have nicknames for each other. We shorten each other's names. Pretty soon I'm going to be referring to you guys by your first initial or something. Okay, you guys, thank you so much. I'm going to enjoy the football games. Please don't forget to subscribe to the Neo Wonderland newsletter to be notified about the pre-launch page coming up here in October. So I'll try to make some exclusives so that you guys get like the exclusive first look at something. I don't know, we'll figure that out. So something fun, obviously. So awesome. Yeah, deep purple. No, for sure. And the cat's not going to stay gray. He looks kind of like unhealthy right now. So all right, you guys, thank you so much. I will see you guys very shortly. We'll finish coloring this page. We'll get all the really pretty stuff on this page next time. So awesome. Well, I will see you guys in a couple days, maybe a day or two. So awesome. Later.